Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Sticks in the Six podcast, episode 224, the Olympic episode. We're going to be, obviously, we didn't get in on it last week. Life has gotten in the way once again. But things have been busy for us. Things have also been busy over in Milan with all of the Olympic coverage that's been going on. Canada's had some strong finishes across the board in all of sports. The men's curling get it done today in the gold medal match against Great Britain. The women get it done in the bronze medal game. A lot of controversy in curling. Maybe not the sport that everyone expected it to be, but certainly some controversy overseas at the Olympics. But before we get into all the fun talk, the setup for the gold medal game tomorrow here on episode 224.
The game we've all been waiting for.
The game we have all been waiting for. Peter, how you doing this week, my friend?
Doing great, man. And yeah, it has been a great Olympic Winter Games. I'm not going to lie, from that Norwegian, I forget the full name, but Klebo with like 6 gold medals in skiing. The controversy in curling, and like you said too, man, if there was one sport where there was going to be a whole lot of controversy, curling would be way down the list and not even on my bingo card. But here we are, like controversy on both sides of both the men, the women, the light touch of the Rock. Who knows what's going on? Mark Kennedy going off too, dropping F-bombs left, right, and center. Honestly, it's getting heated. I know it's the competition. I know it's supposed to be friendly, but sometimes you can get a little heated, and yeah, just overall, I'm kind of surprised at how quick this went by because we've been keeping tune on within the household at work too. No matter any chance we got, we were watching the Olympics, but it's like, man, 2 weeks flew by very quickly. And as you know, right now, NHL players that aren't in the Olympics hitting the ice, getting tuned up again for when the season kicks back in. And yeah, tomorrow's the gold medal game. And then right after that, it's like back to action for like NHL players.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Gary, welcome to the show. Obviously, longtime viewer. The Kennedy meme and gifs are outstanding.
Full swing.
It's
full swing.
My guy. I like what he wasn't taking anything on that one. What's crazy though is like I said it a few times after it all went down, after it kind of all happened, after Holman's Rock got pulled in the women's game as well.
Mm-hmm.
I jumped on and I was like, we got to watch we got to watch how we phrase this, right? Because everyone's out there saying they cheated. Yeah. Great Britain cheated. All of a sudden, the Swedish accusers were also found to be cheating later on and touching the Rock for a second time. Mm-hmm. And what people aren't understanding about the whole thing is that it's not actually cheating; it's a violation. The same way a high stick or an offside
it's a penalty.
Or an icing would happen in hockey. It's a small violation rather than actually cheating. The common description that I found I liked that was posted on X, I believe, was that spin a top, okay? Spin a top and then touch it with your finger. How does it benefit you in any way to touch that spinning top? And that's the same kind of comparison.
I was about to say a light touch. Okay, I don't know the whole rules of curling and everything, but everyone has said that they have done it time and time again. It's not something that hasn't been done. It's like kind of, I don't know a really good comparison to like a major sport, but it's something people have done previously in curling. And to be honest, the way that Rock was going to, and even with Kennedy touching the Rock, didn't even feel like it was going to have that much of an impact anyways. Yeah, you probably could have taken it out, dead play, whatever kind of thing, a penalty, that Rock gets removed, that counts as your move, but there was no major competitive advantage to it. And apparently right now, it's like that guy's still not losing sleep about it, but everyone is posting Mark Kennedy's got that gold medal right now. So yeah, it's again, curling being the most controversial sport in the Olympics this year, not even at the top of my list right then and there.
Yeah, absolutely. Over here on TikTok, Jordan, who's been in on our last few episodes here, he says, "Go Canada, baby!" Yes,
let's go, baby.
Exactly. They're making sure they run their ship, right? And again, I think with the whole controversy, Holman got kind of got hosed on one game where they pulled a Rock, but Other than that, I think the IOC kind of looked at it eventually and just said like this is complete joke. So
Yeah.
it got done. Things got done. Canada got it done on the men's side. They got bronze so they medaled on both sides, which is
Yeah.
outstanding.
Got the podium.
I think one of the biggest controversies I wanted to talk about, and not even talk about, just bring up, was the Ukrainian skeleton
Yes.
athlete's helmet, and what happened there. If you don't know about it, look it up. I don't want to get into it, but that was crazy to me. That was insane to me. That this guy's supposed to be a top athlete in his sport, likely going to medal, and they wouldn't let him compete because of the helmet that he was wearing, because it paid homage to athletes who have been killed at war.
Yeah.
Anyways, we are here to talk hockey.
Mm-hmm.
And because we don't have Leaf hockey, we're talking the Leaf on the Canada jersey. That's where we're going
There we
with
go.
this. It's
Perfect
been
segue.
yes, it's been a fun tournament. It's been a busy tournament.
Competitive as all hell.
It's been very competitive on the men's
Yeah.
side. The women's side, you're starting to see a little bit more of competitiveness from some of the other countries. In saying that, on the women's side, the U.S. was the clear-cut favorite from day one. They had a young squad. I believe their average age was in the 23-year-old range. They had a lot of D1 athletes coming, a lot of NCAA athletes on their squad. Obviously, the big story, Hillary Knight. This was going to be her final hurrah at the Olympics. She
Just
had
an outstanding career.
Great career. I
Absolutely.
posted it today. I think she's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
No doubt.
When she comes up for it, and then closes out her Olympics, obviously, with getting engaged to her partner, and then, of course, the gold medal win over Canada. Let's get into the women's side first, because we have Marie-Philippe Poulin, who sat out the first two games, came in afterwards and was absolutely outstanding. The same Marie-Philippe Poulin we are so used to seeing got involved. She was physical. She was playing with an edge. She wanted to win. She also took down Hayley Wickenheiser for the most goals ever by a Canadian woman at the Olympics. Now holds the all-time record. Another first ballot Hall of Famer when she decides to call it a career. Your thoughts on Team Canada and Marie-Philippe Poulin?
Disappointing end, to say the least. Because let's face it, whenever Canada goes on, even for the women's side, it's always gold medal or nothing. It's always going to be Canada, USA. I don't know. It kind of felt like they were that step behind kind of thing, especially in those matchups against the USA, especially the first one in the round robin where they were just absolutely dominated. And it showed. And it kind of looked like when they set their sights on the gold medal game, when you knew that matchup was coming up, okay, it kind of felt like the first period, it was very even keeled. They were battling. They were playing hard. But then right after that O'Neill shorthanded goal, it kind of felt like they should have kept the pressure on. USA just battled back. It was relentless pressure time and time again, and Canada couldn't get anything done. And to me, that's just that youth that USA brought, the speed on both the front and the back end. And to me, Canada just looked very off. They couldn't get anything done. They couldn't string passes. They couldn't break out. Even in overtime too, it was just like fumble after fumble. They just couldn't get anything going. And yeah, you had, and this is where like it kind of shines for them, because some of their younger players did step up, and Daryl Watts, 8 points in 7 games. Sarah Fillier would have liked a little bit more considering the previous Olympics that she had, 6 points in 7. And Julia Gosling, our friend of the show, the 6 and the 6, 5 points in 7 games. So some of their younger players stepped up, but outside of that, their depth didn't. And even when, Poulin was injured and she was out, it was one of those things where, okay, that depth needed to take another step forward. Who were they going to rely on? Watts did step up. Fillier stepped up. Gosling looked great. O'Neill looked great as well. But at the same time, some of their vets too, they just couldn't quite get things done. I really liked Renata Foch. She was great, but you wanted to see a little bit more from maybe someone like Blair Turnbull, Erin Ambrose, Sarah Nurse. Exactly. I was just getting the Sarah Nurse as well. They were completely invisible. And at the same time, you kind of need those players to step up. And we remember the tournament that Sarah Nurse had in 2018. phenomenal.
18 points, I believe, in that tournament.
Exactly. We didn't quite see that right now. And to me, she was supposed to be one of those, like, newer, younger players to come up and step up in a big role. And we need to see a little bit more. And this is kind of like that changing of the guard right now where it could be the end. I hope it's not for Poulin, because maybe she has one more Olympics in her. Who knows? But she was very emotional afterwards. You saw it on the ice, on the bench, everything like that. I hope this isn't the end for Marie, because you can see another step with her. Laura Stacey, I want to see her come back again. But some of the other players, you cannot bring them back because you cannot have that same recipe again. USA thought that they ran some of their older players back. Didn't quite work out. They went younger and it worked out. Now, Canada needs to follow suit. They got to get younger. They got to get faster, and they got to get more skilled as well. I was kind of surprised Chloe Primarino wasn't on the Canadian roster. I thought she would have been on there as kind of like that young, quick, fast puck moving defender, kind of like Renata Fost. I think that was kind of a mistake right there, but that's the direction that they need to go.
Yeah, Jordan over here on TikTok says Poulin and Crosby not doing our closing ceremonies is crazy to me. He also believes that it's the end of the line for both of them at the Olympics. Jonesy also says it's hockey entertainment. That's all. I'm not really sure what Jonesy means by that, but regardless. Anyways, I will say this. I think I think Marie Falloux will be back if she wants to be back. There's rumors swirling right now.
I was about to say it's all depending on her health too, because her injury I think may have played a big factor, but still 3 goals and 4 points, still kind of good.
Yeah. It's I would say the one thing that's kind of been rumored around there is that obviously she's married to Laura Stacey, and there's conversation that they obviously want to start a family as well. Yeah. So that will play into it as well. So that'll be a determinant, I believe. I do think there needs to be a changing of the guard in a sense. And the one thing that struck me and that I couldn't get over was that through the first, I believe, 2 games, Julie Gosling had 5 points, 3 goals, all power play, 2 assists. And then they moved her because Poulin came back. Yeah. And once they moved her, she just didn't have that same chemistry role and chemistry that she had in the opening 2 games. I agree. And that, to me, when you're going up against a stronger, faster, younger U.S. squad, why would you not look for that chemistry again? Where you had Gosling, who's such a presence in front of the net, come back and play that role. And that, to me, that kind of seemed a little off. And I understand with Poulin coming back, you had to make some roster moves. But there's somebody who was, at the time, after 2 games, tied for, I believe, 5th in the tournament in points and 1st in goals, and you moved her off of that top line where she was finding that chemistry. That to me was a little bit odd, and I think that kind of played into where the team went from there. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at, but I do agree with you that there needs to be a change in the guard. We need to see a younger Canada squad from here on out, maybe starting with the World Championships next season.
And again, that's not to say that Canada didn't put their best foot forward. They absolutely did. And it was going to be one of Canada or U.S. winning gold, silver coming in regardless. They got the silver, great. And I think they had a better performance than they did, especially at that rivalry series where they were absolutely demolished by the Americans. So to me, I think this is a step in the right direction. But again, you got to focus on building next for that. Again, like you mentioned, that World Championship, but also look into the next 4 years because that's going to be your core right there.
Yeah, right. Shout out to Jordan, who had a few names over here as well. Primarano should have been there.
Yep.
Serdachny should have been there.
And she, if I recall, she scored that last overtime winner, and Julia Gosling helped set her up on that. Yeah, that to me was another bit of a surprise right there.
And there's Jordan popping into the chat here as well.
There's Jordan.
So he's popped onto YouTube here to get both sides. But he also mentioned May Batherson also had 10 points in 15 games in her rookie year in the PWHL. She could have been a player as well. So yeah, definitely a lot of names that that could have been could have popped into that lineup and made a difference as well. Serdachny scored that OT goal. I watched that game. Yeah. So I mean, Jordan's right on top of it. I think there's
the players.
you had the players, you had the youthfulness. There was a question too, I believe, by Jack Hahn on X, where he said, explain to me why Canada isn't younger like the U.S. at this tournament. And I think they tried to go back to like, the Sarah Nurse who had 18 points, and she just didn't look like she had it this tournament. Laura Stacey, even in the first couple games, seemed a little bit off, and it wasn't until the medal rounds the elimination games where she really stepped it up, and you saw that. And then of course, people like Sarah Fillier, who should be one of the best in the game right now, and she just didn't seem like she was she wasn't
herself
involved in the play as well. So, and that's why I think the Gosling one kind of throws me, because you had somebody who was getting involved, who did play a heck of a first couple games, and then wasn't in the same spot to kind of get that opportunity to excel in this tournament. It didn't. Regardless, we should note that to go and get the silver medal, there's nothing to be ashamed of.
Nothing.
And if it is in fact her last tournament, Marie-Philippe Poulin is all class. The way that she closed it out, the handshakes at the end, and even the respect from the U.S. players.
I was just about to say that one-on-one with Hilary Knight too, where it's been them battling, leading their teams day in and day out, year after year too. That moment right there really said a lot, with class from both players right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Jordan says Heisey, Murphy, Curl, and Bilka are all nasty for girls. And then Poulin obviously is a legend. Yeah. Man, I'll say this. I've been dabbling in the card collecting again, and went to take a look at her Young Guns, and her Young Guns is going for like 150. Like that's that's the impact that she's had with those types of cards only being out for 2 seasons. That's the type of impact that she's had
in the game,
on the women's game. And like I said before, first ballot Hall of Famer. There's no question. Hilary Knight, congratulations on the gold medal to the U.S. girls as well. Yeah. They played well. They stayed in it. They kept them. They gave up 2 goals all tournament. 2 goals all tournament. So, 12
hours away.
He's getting excited.
But who's counting, right?
Yeah, he's getting excited. Jordan, we're gonna be talking some men's hockey shortly here. But I do want to reiterate, there should be no shame in Team Canada walking away with that silver. The way they played all tournament long, being the underdog going in and having that lead for as long as they did is crazy. Brady coming home crying.
I was about to say, there's that one common thing we're having right now.
Yeah. Okay. So with that said, congratulations to the women on getting the silver. I'm hoping, and I'm putting this out in the atmosphere, but you all know I'm from Oakville. There were 2 Oakville natives on that team. My hope is I can use that Oakville kind of agenda connection to hopefully get a couple on here, including the goal scorer, I should say. The goal scorer, Kristen O'Neill, is an Oakville native. So my hope is that we can get some Oakville content on the podcast. On top of that, I do think as well that I'm going to try and reach out to Julia and hopefully get her back on to kind of talk about her experience in Milan. We talked about it with her when she was on here, that the hope was she was going to be going to Milan this year. And of course she did. She had a heck of a tournament. She looked great on the ice, and the hope is we can get her back on the show. Bob over on TikTok is asking what we think tomorrow's score is going to be. We're going to get to that in a sec, Bob. So just stay tuned. If you want to jump onto YouTube, you'll get our say, as well as any commenters there as well. If you're close to YouTube, check us out on YouTube. Guys, before we get to the men's tournament, just a quick note from our sponsors over at DraftKings Sportsbook. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, is built for the fastest game on ice. With player props and live betting, every shift, every shot, every save gives you options to get in on the game with DraftKings Sportsbook. For tomorrow's line, obviously, Canada is the favorite, with the U.S. coming in as the slight underdog, so make sure you check that out over on DraftKings. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code XXX. That's XXX to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit cpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. Copyright 2026. NHL. All rights are reserved. So, it's been a tournament on the men's side. It's been one that has certainly raised the question of whether owners are going to want their NHL players going to the Olympics. With the Kevin Fiala injury, obviously puts him out for the season with the LA Kings. And then, of course, you've got the Crosby injury for Canada. Mm-hmm. He's listed as 70% for the gold medal game, which is crazy when you think about some of the diagnoses that online doctors were giving on X that Darren Dreger went after post game.
I'm just right? I saw that, and it's like, you can have all the speculation you want in your industry on trades, signings, whatever, but the moment a credible physician or doctor comes out and says, "Oh, it could be this," and you call him out on that when you basically do the same thing, is just hypocrisy at its finest. And it's like, dude, listen to the doctor too. I know we got to wait for the medical results. Yeah, we want to hear the final word, but what's wrong with hearing what an actual legitimate doctor, who has also been doing this time and time again with not just hockey, but other sports injuries as well, give his take on it?
Yeah. Yeah. I you know what? Credit to Dreger for going after the guy and basically calling him out and saying, like, you know, keep your speculation.
The comment section just basically lambasted him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But it was like, he wasn't the only one. There was like multiple doctors that were like,
exactly. Anyways, like, who are we to argue with medical professions, right?
Yeah. Regardless,
professional. Sorry.
The question is going to be raised, and I think we'd be naive not to think that there's going to be a question mark around whether owners want their players going again.
And they had the same thing when John Tavares had his injury, what, 2014?
2012? 2016.
2016. Yeah.
Yeah, 2016.
Okay.
Right? Am I wrong?
Let's do a quick note.
You got me questioning it.
Yeah. I'm even questioning myself right now. It has to be 2014 because then right after that was 2018. Right. And then that was the year they didn't go. Yeah, I think 4 games. I think that was 2014.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, 59 games because then he didn't play the rest after that. Yeah.
Yeah, so, 2014.
Yeah.
Jordan over here says the doctors can just shut up. Yeah. I know. Anyways, yes, so it's been a hell of a tournament. We talked about the Fiala injury, obviously, and then you've got the U.S. fans chanting that they want Greenland, which is another great reason for why the geopolitical conversation comes into these. You know, everyone says keep politics out of sport, but it's tough to do when you have fans coming in here and chanting exactly what they're chanting. And
it's always them that brings it into it too.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say this too. I'm not going to comment on that, but I am going to give props to that person that brought the Greenland flag to that game as kind of like that big middle finger kind of thing.
Yeah.
So to me, I want to give more respect to that.
Yeah, for sure. Jordan, sorry, he mentions not the doctors, the owners. The owners.
Yes,
I agree.
Yeah,
the Olympics are way better with the NHL. With the NHL there, I think. You know, the owners know it. They just want compensation, especially when something like this happens, right?
I mean, the players didn't care about how small the neutral zone was. They wanted to get out there and play, and they're laying it out on the line regardless. And I think time and time again, if you were to tell these players that they would go back and do it again, they would go up and sign up, whether they had an injury or not. And I'm pretty sure you could probably ask Kevin Fiala that. He would love to suit up and put that Swiss jersey on again.
1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Crosby, if he would be able to again for one more time, then again, he is getting up there in age. But it's not just them.
I say
Nico
he's got
Rantanen
one more.
too.
I say he's got one more in him.
Yeah, why not? Come as a 4C in 2030.
Yeah. Jordan, who was chanting political stuff? So U.S. fans, when they took on Denmark, it was Denmark.
Denmark, yeah.
Were chanting that they want Greenland, bringing up the whole idea of Trump going after Greenland, trying to invade, and all that BS. And then, of course, I believe it was today or yesterday, there was a Canadian fan wearing a jersey that said "Never" as the last name, and then 51 was the number on it. Obviously, making light of the
Everything
idea
that
of being a
Nations,
51st state. So the idea that politics is not in sport is crazy.
It's always there.
We aren't going to dive into that right now because it is. Gretzky was even asked last night or yesterday during the game.
Yeah. I saw that interview too, yeah.
Yeah, about all the things that went on at Four Nations and how he was criticized and crucified for his relationship with Trump, and he kind of just said, I'm a hockey player. I've always been a Canadian. I've always been a true Canadian. I want to win gold. Blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. I've been friends with other prime ministers. But yada yada. Regardless of where you are, politics comes into it, and it is unfortunate, but it is something that we see on a regular basis. So. To say that there's not going to be an underlying political message that comes with this Team Canada versus Team USA in the gold medal game, especially with what's going on, I think we would be insane not to think that politics are so lame, but it's a part of life. I think without it, we have Lord of the Flies, so I think it's necessary. It doesn't always line up with our views, but it's definitely necessary. But yeah, I think the underlying message is certainly going to be there. The Tkachuk's obviously with Matthews' visit to the White House, there was controversy there. That's going to come into play.
Yep.
We had Tkachuk talking to Draisaitl saying he's always the bridesmaid, never the bride. We had, when it came to Canada, we had the Czechia coach literally saying that it was like playing against 6 players because the refs were calling everything against them. When it came out afterwards that Czechia had 6 players in the defensive zone trying to cover 5 Canadian players.
And then 2 more came on right after that before Palat even scored. So they had more than 6.
If you look at it, and this is the conversation I had on TikTok with a lot of people, a lot of people said while they were going off for a change, double IHF rules state that you have a 5 foot window, 5 foot window for a line
for
change,
a change,
which to me is still insane. Like I'm about 6 feet.
That's generous, yeah.
So take off my head, and you're allowed that much space for a line change. That's insane to me. Regardless, I'd pay for mic'd up. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. He's talking about the Tkachuks there. But the fact that they were probably 10 feet away from the bench and there's 2 more players on, not including the goalie, there was 8 skaters on the ice for Czechia when Palat scored. 6 involved in the celebration afterwards. And still nobody caught it. And the double IHF was asked about it afterwards by Pierre Lebrun, and they came out and they said, yeah, it was obviously a miss. It was a mistake. Now, fortunately, Canada won. Had they not, this would have been a much bigger issue. And the fact that their coach came out and basically said, like, we were playing against 6 guys all night with the refs. Peter, we comment on officiating all the time.
Yes.
And not just in favor of the Leafs, not just in favor of Canada. Officiating has been bad it's human error. Call it what you want. They even out games. There's issues with officiating. This has been some of the worst officiating I have seen in a very long time. And if you couldn't see the 6 white shirts on the ice when they were in the defensive zone, they were 6 people all within a huddle trying to defend 5 Canadian players. I don't know what the answer is here.
And let's not forget, too, that there were also NHL refs at the Olympics, too. So if there was an NHL official on the ice and they still caught that, that just leads me to even more concern too. But I will say this. Should there have been a penalty or a penalty shot possibly with Martin Necas in overtime?
Yep, absolutely.
Absolutely. 100%. I can't remember who it was. I can't if it was Devin Tays. He was a little bit slow. He did get that stick up. That should have been a penalty. I'm going to say that was a missed call. But let's not forget that what happened leading to that, Palat goal. Yes, 6 to 8 players on the ice. There was a knee that should have been called a trip or a knee that led in the offensive zone that got missed. There was Palat interfering with Crosby, yet you called the softest one on Celebrini in the first period.
The puck wasn't even close to Crosby, and he got smashed up against the boards.
Yes, and then let's not forget Radko Gudas just being the total, player that he is. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Goon.
Yeah,
goon.
Yeah.
Just a fucking goon.
Basically right there. Yeah, Gudas being Gudas and going after Crosby twice after he sat on him too. That just alone is despicable itself. But, and I guess we're going to segue into this too, but for you to call out and say, yeah, they were on our side, but there were like more calls that went against you than it did Canada. Like stuff that was missed that went in your favor and you still lost and you're still complaining. I'm sorry. That's just a joke. And the same thing too. And even with Teemu Selanne too, complaining about that high stick towards the end. And everyone's saying that, oh, McKinnon lifted the stick up. McKinnon had control of the puck and that stick came up and hit him in the face. Did he embellish it a little bit? Yeah, of course. But when a stick rides up into your face, how are you not going to feel that? And if you know what, that was the right call. Probably soft, but it's a high stick regardless. I don't know how you can argue that.
Players have been selling high sticks for about 15 years, and it's gotten worse and worse. So did he sell it? Absolutely. I saw one comment on X, Ken Campbell, saying that they would have given him a penalty for whatever, exaggeration, whatever that embellishment. Thank you. Words are escaping me. I'm getting old.
Yeah. Same here, man.
And that you given him an embellishment. Get out of here, like Ken Campbell. Get out of here. And Teemu, I get it. I got so much respect for Teemu Selanne.
Yeah.
Like I love Teemu Selanne. My fantasy team at work is Teemu Salami. Okay, so that's why
that's why there's a little.
I legitimately have so much respect for this guy. But to say that you wouldn't call a high stick late in the game, it's a high stick. It's not like a hook where like it can be somewhat subjective. Like it was a high stick.
I was about to say it would be a penalty at the beginning, in the second period, even at the beginning of the third period. Yeah. It's a penalty time and through.
Yeah, and if it was going the other way, you would have wanted it called. Like that's the part that I don't understand. And to say that he lifted the stick to try and play the puck. Mm-hmm. So McKinnon lifted the stick to about the midsection. After that midsection, Mikkola lost control of his stick. Mm-hmm. And what are you taught as a minor hockey league player? Always be in control of your stick.
Yep.
If you can't control the stick from the midsection up to where it clipped Nathan McKinnon in the face, it's a penalty. Mm-hmm. That's black and white, high sticking, no questions asked.
Yep.
So Teemu Selanne, I'm going to stumble over this because of my fantasy hockey name over and over again. Teemu, I get where you're coming from, but let's be real.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't have been sitting back on a lead for 40 minutes of the game, only getting 7 shots, 8 shots. Yeah. That's on Finland. That's not on Canada. They were pressing the entire time. They knew they had to get it done, and
they were playing desperate. Finland weren't.
And Mikkola did not. You know what the shame of that game was, from a Finnish standpoint, is that you didn't challenge that second goal for Canada. That was the shame, because realistically, you could have. I do think Holla pushed him in. So it would have been a questionable goal regardless. But you threw the Hail Mary at the end to try and challenge the offside, which
it was close, but there was not enough evidence to overturn that.
No.
Like Celebrini's skate was right on the line. And
you should have challenged Marchand going into Saros.
Mm-hmm.
That
I think
I would have eaten a penalty at that point.
The only thing that I have with that is why it was tough. It happened at least 5 seconds ish after that happened. Saros was able to recover quickly and get into position. It didn't really impact the goal going in, but the fact that he recovered and located it, I think that's where maybe that could have been another one of those iffy calls kind of thing.
We have seen worse, though. We have seen worse in the NHL. Like
100%.
The issue was that as Marchand got up and Saros got back and got set, right when he got set was when the point shot came, and that's what zipped by him.
That's fair.
So it's within. I honestly believe they go with like a 10-second window. It was within a 10-second window,
and they just lost the time to challenge.
And I'm still saying I don't know if they would have overturned it because Haula did push Marchand into Saros in the slightest. Do I think Marchand threw himself on Saros' legs to add to the fall?
Maybe
1,000%. Yeah. Like we're talking about Brad Marchand, but that would have been a better challenge than challenging a Hail Mary at the end on an offside.
Mm-hmm.
And if you took a penalty, then at least you had time to get back in the game. Right? That's the part that I'm a little confused with. Mm-hmm. And if I'm Teemu, I'd be more upset that my team didn't challenge that goal than I am about a high stick that was a high stick late in the game.
Yep.
So I don't know. That's just where I'm at. I think Canada has had some controversial moments in this tournament. They've gone Canada's way, but
they've been resilient time and time.
Absolutely. And you're going to have naysayers across the board regardless. You're going to have people who are going to justify, their reasonings behind. Like, I saw a recent comment on X. I think it's I forget who it was. It was last word on hockey or whatever. Anyways, regardless. The guy says in the gold medal game Chuck's brother should go after Crosby if he plays and target him. And then he doubled down and said, "I stand by this comment."
That's like that's what you want to say, really?
But people are gonna have shitty takes, right?
Yeah.
Like Teemu's is a shitty take. Like I'll call out a Hall of Famer on the podcast. I don't care.
Bad take, yeah.
Teemu had a bad take.
Mm-hmm.
That was that you could have complained about anything else in the game. You're complaining about a high stick that was a high stick. That doesn't make it. It doesn't make sense. The Czechia coach was complaining about playing against 6 players when he literally had 6 players on the ice. He just became the biggest laughing stock in all of hockey.
Yep. I'll also say that, not related in terms of any bad takes, but you want a bad take. I think the Swedish head coach, they probably could have fired him at the beginning. They would for not playing Philip Forsberg early on and
sitting over Ekman Larson.
Yeah, like, come on. Like, that's a boneheaded decision right there. And then I just don't understand that. Like, you have one of the top goal scorers aside from maybe William Nylander on Sweden, and you don't play him or elect to give him a shift in the first game, and then 9 minutes after that. Like, what are you doing here, man? Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to preview the gold medal game here shortly.
Yeah.
I had one last thing I want to get to before. You know what? Two more things. First, I want to talk about Haggerty's take on Matthews, and there's so much Matthews hate going on in the first two games. He came out. He was arguably one of the best American players.
He's been one of the best American players.
He's outchanced 90% of the team. And I believe the last 2 games he's been up there for chances created at all situations.
The Jay Fresh cards, right?
Thank you to Jay Fresh. Yeah. Thank you to Jay Fresh. Some incredible numbers there. But I want to get your take because if you looked at any of the quotes from American players, all of them said, like Jake Gensel came out and said, this guy gets too hard of a time. Matthew Tkachuk said, this is our guy. He's our captain. We're going to follow him. Jack Eichel came out and said, he's an incredible leader. What he does defensively, he sacrifices offensively, which we have talked about in Toronto as well. Mm-hmm. The fact that he's not he's not talked about as one of the best 200-foot players in the league is insane to me. But to question the C, and my issue with Haggerty's comment on X was that He came out and he said there are other players that should be captain. Jack Eichel, Brady Tkachuk are better options than Auston Matthews. So not only are you calling into question his leadership, but you're giving options as to who would be a better option for somebody like Matthews when Matthews has done absolutely nothing wrong. What are your thoughts on?
I thought you were still going on that.
No, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, when I first saw that, and you wrote a great piece on the whole entire thing about him getting the whole controversy about his captaincy, his leadership qualities, everything like that. Honestly, there's just no pleasing anybody anymore. Like, you could, realistically, you probably could have gone to Tkachuk or Eichel or whatever. But let's face it, a lot of these guys are captains and leaders on their team. You got to pick 2 or 3 guys. Like, that's what it comes down to. But to me, he led the team and looked okay at the Four Nations. To be honest, I think he's looked better here than he did in the Four Nations. And the way that they're wording it is saying that he's not good enough to lead them into battle. I completely find that as complete BS, because what fans are complaining about and saying that he's a bad leader in Toronto, they're saying the exact same things here with Team USA. And
they're saying the same things in our comments too.
Yeah,
thanks, Jordan.
There we go. Yeah, so everyone is on top of everything right now. There we go. It's just really hard to fathom that he gets all this hate, and he's not even wearing the maple leaf. He's not wearing blue and white. He's wearing the team colors, and people still have a problem with him. Meanwhile, yeah, maybe early on he wasn't getting those chances, but he was still a defensive stalwart. He was leading by example on the ice. He was doing the things right so that he could help his team win. Winning draws, getting into lanes, being a defensive presence. And let's not forget too, I was watching that game against Slovakia, and I was kind of rooting for Slovakia. Let's face it, they finished 4th. I'm so happy because that's my second country right there. But Matthews had chances galore against Hawaii and Slovakia, and then at the same time, he could have easily had like 4 or 5 goals alone in that game, and that score could have been run up. It's not for a lack of trying. This guy's laying it out all on the line for his country as well as everybody else. But to say that he doesn't deserve the C, man, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Like, there's no other way to put it. It's, again, the whole thing about he's going to face criticism regardless. I mean, you're going to have Toronto fans that still don't want him as captain, even though that's a bad take. You're going to have fans that say that he's a bad captain for Team USA. That's still a bad take because, yeah, maybe you could have had somebody else, but at the same time, he's still worthy of wearing the C regardless of how you feel about it.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I'm gonna comment back at Jordan here, because Jordan threw this out here. And I know you're an Ottawa fan. We're not even get into that, but both Tkachuks, Eichel, McAvoy, Larkin, I'd rather have as captain if I'm the US. So I'm gonna go on each one of those for a second here. Larkin is the one that maybe I would take. And even Dylan Larkin came out and spoke to the leadership that Matthews provides both on and off the ice. So we don't see what goes on in the room. Mm-hmm. We see what goes on the ice. And yes, he's taken a step back offensively. But if you watch his overall game, he's given up more offensively under Berube because of the way that he plays defensively. Mm-hmm. So I to have Larkin come out and make that comment, I think is very important.
Yes.
The reason you don't have Charlie McAvoy is because Charlie McAvoy, after the Four Nations, came out and roasted USA Hockey about the way they handled his injury. There's no chance he's your captain.
Yeah.
Jack Eichel, the only time he ever wore the C, he decided to leave the Buffalo Sabres. And again, not totally his fault. They didn't let him kind of go through with the surgery he wanted, and he should have that autonomy to make that call. But that's the only time that he's worn a C. In Vegas, he's played secondary to Mark Stone. So to me, I'm not ready to give him the C. Matthew Tkachuk and Brady Tkachuk, the reason I don't give them the C is, one, Matthew Tkachuk has never done anything to demonstrate leadership. Mm-hmm. And Brady, for me, one, he's an oaf. Like, no offense, I know you're a Senators fan, Brady's an oaf. And to me, the way that they kicked off the Four Nations with fighting, they made the storyline more important about them than they did USA Hockey and trying to get the win over Canada.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, to me, none of them would be my captain outside of Larkin. And I will agree with you on Larkin. I think Larkin could have been an option as well.
Yeah.
But I can't sit back here and say I'd agree with any of the other four, to be honest. Anyways, I like in that conversation, I agree. Like,
yeah,
obviously we're Leafs podcast, but I like Matthews has been molded into this expected leader for years. Like it's not like he was expected to be the leader when everything went down in Arizona when it did. They gave it to John Tavares 2 years later. They're giving it back to Auston Matthews. And he was the captain at Four Nations. He was, the expectation was he's going to be captain here as well. So I think that's why you see it. Just going off your comments, I like what he brings. He's won a cup too, and yes, to Chuck is C. He's unreal. He's unreal like you're talking Matthew here. He's unreal as a player because he does a lot of the intangibles. He gets under the skin of other players. That doesn't make him a leader.
Mm-hmm. It
makes him a valuable asset. He could never be the number one on a team. It has zero to do with being a fan. I'm not saying it has anything to do with being a fan of the Senators. I play into that because you are a Senators fan, so I'm not gonna ignore the elephant in the room there.
Mm-hmm.
But enthusiastic, energetic, outgoing, brings it every game. Matthews is none of those things. Sick player, but not a leader in my opinion. No hate. I'm just giving my opinion.
I get about the enthusiastic, energetic, outgoing, but sometimes that's just individual personality. To me, if you lead by example on the ice, you may not be the most energetic or the most physical player out there. You can still do other things and other aspects to win. And Matthews has shown to be a really versatile two-way center. That I understand where you're coming from there, Jay, but at the same time, there are other factors that come into it as well. And
you're talking. Sorry, he's talking. You're talking. Matthew Chucks had 120 points.
Nah, I think he hit 100. Not sure if he hit 120.
Again, though, like nobody's questioning the skill level of Matthew Tkachuk. Nobody's questioning what he adds offensively.
104. Actually, 109 with his first season with the Panthers.
109. Okay, so 109 is his high. And again, nobody's questioning what he can do offensively. Offense doesn't make you a leader. And I think his issue still plays into the fact like his hit on Kucherov the night before they left for the Olympics. Where he swooped around and hit him from behind at the blue line. That's not a leader. That doesn't show me leader. Yeah. You can be energetic. You can be excitable. You can be a guy that brings it every night, which he is. But when you go and make those dummy plays, that doesn't make you a leader. So that's why I'm sitting back on that one. And again, I'm not disagreeing with you on Dylan Larkin. I think Dylan Larkin would have been a fantastic leader.
I think he maybe should have gotten an A.
Absolutely, 100%. I think Dylan Larkin's a great pick.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, we also have to talk about Marner's heroics. And it was Biz Nasty during the game came out and said, we haven't seen Mitch Marner at all this game. And I knew right then and there.
Yeah.
Like I even created an AI like picture of like a milk carton with Mitch Marner's face on it. And I was ready to post it, and I knew I shouldn't because I knew as soon as I did, he was going to come down the ice and score. And what did he do? 1-on-3 comes down,
game winner,
pots it, game winner, OT, and then the comments start flooding in that Toronto pushed him out. Did Toronto know what they had? He's a big game player,
and even Mark Stone too. Like for him to like put that out there, maybe it's a Toronto thing too. I mean, like, are we still going to have this conversation? Okay. Let's be real. He showed up and scored a big goal at Four Nations. He showed up and scored a big goal here. But let's face it, he was very quiet up until this point. And I mentioned this too, like with Crosby out, you needed somebody to step up. Hagel's been quiet. Reinhart was quiet. Marner and Suzuki were quiet, although Suzuki had that empty netter, which probably would have not sit well had Canada lost, but he made up for it with that individual effort that led up into his goal. But it's not that we pushed Marner out. It's just where was this kind of like clutch factor time and time again in the playoffs? And we didn't even bring it up. We're just cheering Marner scored. It's everyone else outside that brought it up. I don't think there was any Leaf fan that actually said that, but they're using the whole Marner, where was this clutch factor when he was actually with us, as like that little bit of a retort kind of thing. But, you know, it's great that and I'm going to cheer for him because he's wearing the maple leaf. He's representing his country. But at the same time, you just want to know, where was this with the Maple Leafs? That's the only thing that I'm just saying with that.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you. I think like a lot of things were taken out of context afterwards. People saying like, you know, where the Leaf fans now, like nobody ever wanted Mitch Marner to leave. Yeah. Right? The true Leaf fans never wanted Mitch Marner to leave Toronto.
We wanted him to succeed.
We wanted him to succeed. We wanted him to sign. We wanted him to be there long term. We wanted him to be a Leaf for life. He just and this is completely his right. He decided to sign with another team. He decided to leave Toronto. The pressure was different. He wanted to take his family elsewhere, and that's fine. That's up to him. The way he did it, I'll never agree with. When you shut the door at the beginning of the season, never have a conversation with the team, and never open that door to making it work, then I don't agree with that. The not getting traded at the deadline, he had a pregnant wife. As a father, I get it. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna give him hell for that. But nobody ever said. There's conversations where in games 5, 6, and 7 of a hard-nosed game or seven game series, yes, he did not show up. He has 0 goals in
I was
games,
about to say, I saw the
games
stat
5,
line.
6, and 7s.
7 assists in 20 games.
Of 5, 6, and 7s.
Yeah.
Right? So nobody's saying anything. The numbers are speaking for themselves. Mm-hmm. He has always brought it when he wears a Canadian jersey.
Yeah.
And he was great in junior, where when he was ready to make the jump to the NHL, he should have been playing in junior anyway. So he was a big game player in London. But he hasn't been a big game player in the NHL. And if you can't argue otherwise. The numbers have dictated in 20 would you say 20 games of games 5, 6, and 7s?
I thought that's what I saw, yes.
He's had 0 goals, 7 assists.
Mm-hmm.
When he dons that red and white, he takes it to another level. You're playing for your country. It's a different story.
Yeah.
So in that, absolutely, he's a big game player. He's got 2 overtime goals in the last 2 international tournaments. But we're not going to sit here and pretend that he did it at the NHL level.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan, you're right. It wasn't working out. Both sides needed to change. Yes and no. Both sides needed to understand that something was flawed in that relationship because of previous interactions in signings and the way he sat out and things like that. It was a flawed relationship because of that from the get-go. We talked about it a few podcasts ago where Elliot Friedman brought up his entry-level contract.
I was about to say, if you want a full recollection of the fallout, Elliot Friedman's post really summed up everything from beginning to end in complete detail.
And that's why they needed a change. V of Canada, question for you two. Looking back, is Marner for heralded than Sundin? I say no.
Not sure what you're trying to get there.
What do you mean? Like, do we give him a harder time than Sundin because he wasn't traded at the deadline?
If that is the case, I mean, both players had no move clauses, right? It's within their right to move it or not.
The difference too was
Sundin was older.
Sundin was at the end of his career.
Yeah, he was still chasing the cup.
Yeah, there was an expectation that he wasn't coming back at the end of the year, anyways.
Yeah. Marner has been going on for
was in
years.
Marner's been in his prime, and
it's a little different, I would say.
Again, I'm not going to sit here and criticize the guy who didn't want to leave his pregnant wife. Yeah. I don't know. That's just kind of where I'm at. But, anyways, to see him have the heroics that he did, I think it's big. I love it.
Yeah,
I cheered for him.
I think all of Canada did, regardless.
I think everybody did, right?
Yeah.
And if you didn't, then you're just sour grapes. Is Marner more revered?
More revered
than Sundin? Did he accomplish more?
I don't think so. No. It's probably the same amount, but at least Sundin carried his team to a conference final.
Yeah, no. Marner didn't. And Sundin's points and numbers and
records,
playoff accomplishments speak volumes over what Mitch Marner did here. I think most people would agree.
Yeah.
But good question. Fair question.
Good and fair, yep.
Anyways, so now Canada's getting ready for the gold medal game at a terrible time in the morning. I don't know if you saw Chris Johnson's post. Scotiabank Arena opens up at 7 a.m.
Watch party.
Watch party. You've got...
I will say this. Yeah, the time is inconvenient, but man, I remember waking up, going to hockey games, practicing, coaching early on in the morning too. So you know what? To me, it kind of feels like one of those like nostalgia moments. Instead of going to coach and play, I'm watching hockey first thing in the morning.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw it too, but some liquor licenses have been changed to 5 a.m. serving.
Yep, I saw that.
Party on, baby. Party on.
So maybe a little bit too early. Maybe you could have started at maybe 7, but maybe not 5.
Pre-drink starts at 5.
What are we doing?
Puck drops at 8:30.
I mean, it is what, 11 o'clock somewhere, so...
Sundin also led Sweden to gold, and yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yes,
he also led as the captain, if we want to get back in the captain conversation here. Anyways, let's get into what we expect to happen tomorrow morning. Canada versus USA. This is the game that everybody expected. There's geopolitical underlying storylines. They've asked McDavid about it. He said no. He doesn't want to talk about it. Gretzky doesn't want to talk about it. So, Peter, puck drops 8:30 tomorrow morning. Canada, U.S. for gold. Who's taking the bath to the gold medal?
Ooh, this is tough. Again, these are the top two teams. Same with the women's. This was the matchup we all wanted. Canada, U.S. gold. I'm going to say Canada, and it's going to be another 3-2 game. It's going to be extremely close. Now, whether it gets into certain territory, I don't know, but I would like it to be a game where our hearts aren't jumping out of our chests, kind of like the last two, where there was a lot of like late game heroics, extra time, and everything like that. So I'm going to say 3-2 Canada.
I love it. 3-2 Canada. Man, you're wanting another close game, eh?
And you know what? It's like I'm going against of what I want. Like one game where it's not like it's giving the whole nation a heart attack again, and yet I give a 1-goal game, so that kind of throws my logic out the window right there.
Yeah, that's right. Viv Cannon says, I'm going to a 60th birthday tonight, and we won't be having Coke Zero and Perry tonight. That's good to hear. Good to hear. Keep it rolling right into the morning.
There we go. That's a party right there.
I'm going to correct you here. Marner does not have a Selke.
He was not up for. I think he was like top 5. I don't think he was ever fully nominated or
he was
like
a finalist. I believe he was a finalist.
I thought he was a finalist. Okay.
Yeah, he was a top 3. He was a finalist. He never won the Selke though.
Wasn't that the year Nico Hischier won it?
Nico Hischier or was it Barkov? I don't remember, to be honest.
I don't know. Oh wait, I gotta go.
Well, let's go Canada. You're right. Let's go Canada. Patrick jumping on here as well. Patrick, welcome.
Yeah, 2002 or 2002, 2003. Jesus, 22-23. Marner was a finalist for the Selke that year.
And who won it?
And who won the Selke? It was Patrice Bergeron. Yeah. Okay. So Hischier was the second nominated one. Right. So it was Bergeron, Hischier, Marner.
So I was way off.
Yeah.
Patrick, let's go Canada. Canada has the experience and the high end talent. They also have, I believe, 24 cups to the US's 6. Is it 6
I was about
or
to say
7?
they also got a kid named Macklin Celebrini that's just tearing it up too.
Oh,
So
filthy, man.
God.
Filthy.
And if they see, here's the thing: there's the nuclear option of McKinnon, McDavid, and Macklin. Like if John Cooper has that as his card, and if he needs to go all out with that line, holy hell, man, that's going to be tough for anybody.
Absolutely.
The NHL alone has enough problems of keeping them contained on their individual teams. As a line, it's just not fair.
The Mac Daddy line. Let's call it the Mac Daddy line.
Well, I thought I saw it was like the Mac. I forgot what some of the nicknames were. If it was like the Mac, the Mick, or the kind of like MAK or MACK line, kind of like McKinnon. Like, what are we going to do? Because they all have like M's and C's and everything like that. So it's really weird, but at the same time, man, that line is just fun when they're put together.
I'm telling you, it's the Mac Daddy line for me. I'm calling it the Mac Daddy line.
That's a good one.
Patrick thinks Hellebuck's gonna choke.
We got to get playoff Hellebuck.
Yeah.
Oof.
Patrick also says 4-1 big goal from Celebrini. MVP goes to Mick Dusty.
Yeah.
And then Sam Bennett's going to score. Patrick, I hope you're laying some money on all this because, man, the Mach 3, I love that.
Mach 3. Oh, Gary, let's go.
Gary, that might be
perfect.
That might be the line name of the century.
Yeah.
Okay, if anybody else is watching and has a line name for the 3 Macklins, or the 3 Macs, I want to hear it. Mach 3 might be my favorite right now.
That's the winner right there.
We got Mach 3, we got Mac Daddy. What else you got for me? Playing Finland is the better tune-up game. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
They face controversy. The U.S. hasn't faced controversy basically all tournament long.
I'll also say this. Canada has more adversity that they face in the last 2 games than U.S. has. There was that close game against Sweden, but then again, like 3-on-3, I don't think it was really that much of a factor for Sweden. And I'm just going to say this too. How great would it be Crosby playing and he gets a point or like a key point at a key moment just because of Sid?
Imagine he scores the golden goal again.
Oh, jeez. I didn't want to say it, but yeah, man.
Oh,
why not go for it? Or like kind of like another of that passing of the torch. Watch it be a McDavid shot or a Celebrini shot.
A Celebrini. Skaters over the age of 30. V of Canada counts. USA has 5. Canada has 12. That's scary. You know what? Goaltending scared me all tournament long, and Binnington shoved it right down my throat.
I remember the first 2 games. Someone said Binnington with the Blues, whatever. Canada throws on that jersey, second coming of Jesus Christ. So it's like he's a different beast. And again, I've had my reservations, but he has played well. I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. Binnington has been fantastic.
There you go. Here's your DraftKings odds via Vegas from Patrick Mafia. Canada minus 125 favorites. U.S. at plus 108. So there you go. Take your pick. I'm going Canada all day long, and I got a 4-2 score, empty netter to give them the 4-2 win. But I think they get it done. I think Binnington has a big game. I think we finally stop criticizing Binnington at international play because we've done it for far too long, and each time we have, he's come out and just shoved it right down our throats. So, yeah, I've got 4-2. I think it's going to be a big game. It's going to be physical. That line of Marchand, Bennett, and Wilson was unstoppable against Finland. Unstoppable. Gary says big game from Doughty and Marchand. I honestly think that Marchand, Wilson, and Bennett line get a goal.
Yeah.
And then,
my
of course,
one scary question mark is going to be Colton
3.
Parayko.
Yeah,
that's my one question mark. Because
I would love to have Morrissey back in the lineup.
I would love, or you make Parayko your 7th D-man, or you limit his minutes because I think he's going to get walked all over. He hasn't looked great all tournament, and that to me, I was hoping that maybe Morrissey could come back because then you could easily take him out because he hasn't looked great. But that's another story. But putting that aside, get it done.
Yeah, injuries, guys. Done. Morrissey is definitely out. He will not be playing in the gold medal game. Crosby is listed as a game time decision at 70% right now. So it'll be interesting to see what takes place if Crosby's in that lineup. I can't see them stopping him from playing if he's even 75%.
He'll force his way onto the ice at some point.
So it'll be fun to watch, guys. 4-2. I got 4-2. Peter's got 3-2. Mach 3 might be the name that we go with for those. So Gary, great job with that one, Mach 3. Mm-hmm. And anyways, guys, that's kind of all we got. It's an early morning, early rise. We got less than we're in that 12-hour range. Gary's got Canada 4-2 as well. We know Jordan's counting down the hours now here. So and as we mentioned, in some areas, pre-drink starts at 5 a.m. thanks to certain premieres. It's gonna get sloppy, guys.
It's gonna get rough. Yeah.
Anyways, that's all I got. You got anything else you want to add before we close it out here?
Just go Canada.
Gary,
that's basically it. Yeah.
Jordan says, "Let's go." Gary says, "Crosby game winner."
Yeah, we just talked about that before.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Who's going to get the golden goal? Until next week, guys, we're going to have a lot to talk about as we get back into NHL regular season next week, and of course the ending of the Winter Olympic Games. We'll talk a little bit more of the gold medal game when that rolls around. Outside of that, that's all we got this week for episode 224. Can't believe we're at 224, but Canada, USA, and the path to Olympic gold. Make sure you check out BioSteel for 20% off online. The code is in our show description, as well as DraftKings. Use code XXX for $300 on your $5 bet. And SeatGeek for $20 off your first purchase on SeatGeek for concerts, Jays tickets, what you name it. Even Sens tickets, Jordan. Even Sens tickets. Until next time, guys, we're going to leave you here with our friend of the show, Alex Hobson, and his hit single, 25.